Trump in trouble again. The classified documents case once again. Trump has managed to get himself entangled in a legal mess, this time involving classified documents. You'd think after all these years, he'd learn to be a bit more careful, right? The case is being overseen by Judge Aileen Cannon, and here's where it gets interesting or infuriating, depending on your perspective. Judge Cannon, appointed by Trump himself, has made some controversial rulings that seem to favor him. Notably, she isn't imposing any restrictions on Trump's speech about law. These aren't just random complaints either. Many come from lawyers and others in the legal field who see her actions as blatantly biased. This situation significantly reduces the chances of them accepting an appeal from Fani Willis, underscoring how Trump has recently succeeded in putting prosecutors on their back. Chief Justice Pryor, a hardcore right-winger who was even considered for the Supreme Court by Trump, recently addressed the flood of complaints against Judge Cannon in his May 22 order. Pryor basically brushed off the complaints, calling them speculative and lacking evidence. He admitted that some of her rulings had been overturned, but didn't see any major issues. It's almost like he's trying to protect her, which makes sense given their similar political leanings. Think about Trump, in his usual bombastic style, just lost it after the Democrats fact-checked him. We're talking about a full-blown temper tantrum, the kind you'd expect from a spoiled kid who didn't get their way. According to reports, he was classic Trump, right? The immediate aftermath was just as chaotic. His aides were scrambling to calm him down, trying to get him to focus on damage control. Meanwhile, the media was having a field day with it, capturing every moment of the meltdown. This situation exemplifies how Trump's legal troubles and his reactions to them continue to dominate the news cycle, creating a spectacle that is both bewildering and, for many, deeply concerning. The more Trump rants, but it didn't stop there. They questioned Chief Justice William Pryor, another Trump-appointed conservative, for dismissing these complaints. Despite Pryor's involvement in panels overturning Cannon's rulings, he seemed unfazed, brushing off the allegations as speculative. The 11th Circuit Court of Appeals has had to step in multiple times to overrule her, yet Pryor seems to downplay the situation, dismissing complaints as if they were no big deal. It's frustrating, given the clear bias evident in Cannon's rulings, which have significantly affected the progression of the case. Despite over 1,000 complaints, Pryor's response seems dismissive, highlighting a troubling trend of protecting Trump's interests at all costs. In his May 2021 order, Chief Judge William Pryor acknowledged that some of Judge Aileen Cannon's decisions had been overruled. However, he significantly downplayed their importance, stating that he did not see any major problems with her handling of the Trump classified documents case. Pryor brushed off the multitude of complaints as part of an orchestrated campaign to discredit Cannon, which seemed to many observers as if he were in complete denial about the biases and delays that numerous legal professionals had highlighted. This stance is incredibly frustrating to those seeking impartial justice, as it feels like Pryor is protecting Cannon despite clear evidence that her rulings have been problematic. Cannon's involvement in the Trump classified documents case has raised serious concerns about judicial impartiality. Appointed by Trump himself, she has made several controversial rulings that appeared to favor him. For instance, one of her most notorious decisions was to appoint a special master to review the documents seized from Mar-a-Lago, a move widely seen as a tactic to slow down the investigation and give Trump some breathing room. The 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, which oversees her court, had to step in and overrule her on that decision, stating that this wasn't an isolated incident. Cannon's decisions have consistently been criticized and overturned, indicating a troubling pattern. The frustration doesn't end with Cannon's rulings. Over 1,000 complaints have been filed against her, many from lawyers and others in the legal field who see her actions as blatantly biased. These complaints accuse Cannon of showing clear favoritism towards Trump and unnecessarily delaying the case. Some even suggest that she has improper motives, which is a serious accusation in the judicial realm. The nature of these complaints underscores the significant impact her rulings have had on the progression of the classified documents case. Each questionable decision by Cannon adds more delays and complications, seemingly benefiting Trump by dragging out the proceedings. Despite this overwhelming number of complaints, Chief Judge William Pryor's response has been dismissive. He characterized the complaints as speculative and lacking solid evidence, which many find infuriating. Given the clear pattern of Cannon's decisions, Pryor's handling of these complaints suggests a reluctance to address the legitimate concern. This response only adds to the perception that the judicial system is being manipulated to favor Trump, undermining public trust in its impartiality. Pryor's stance is particularly notable given his background and political leanings. Known as one of the most conservative judges in the country, Pryor was even considered for the Supreme Court by Trump, highlighting his alignment with Trump's political ideology. This conservative bent is crucial to understanding his response to the complaints against Cannon. Both Pryor and Cannon were appointed by Trump, and they are part of a broader network of conservative judges placed to shape the judiciary in line with Republican values. Pryor's close ties to Trump and his political ideology suggest that he might be more inclined to dismiss complaints against a fellow conservative judge, reflecting a deeper issue within the judiciary. The 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, which Pryor oversees, has a significant number of judges appointed by Trump. This means the court leans heavily conservative, impacting its overall decisions and responses to judicial conduct complaints. Pryor's dismissal of the complaints against Cannon can be seen as part of a broader effort to maintain conservative control over the judiciary. It's not just about protecting one judge, it's about preserving the influence that Trump's appointees have over the legal system. Pryor's actions can be seen as a microcosm of the larger issues within the American judiciary system, where political influence often intersects with judicial impartiality. The conservative dominance in the 11th Circuit Court, reinforced by appointments made during Trump's presidency, exemplifies the challenges in ensuring a fair and unbiased legal process. The court's decisions have far-reaching implications, affecting not only high-profile cases like Trump's but also the broader public perception of justice in the United States. This situation highlights the complexities of judicial politics and the potential for bias within the legal system. The complaints against Cannon and Pryor's response are emblematic of the broader struggle to maintain judicial integrity in the face of political pressures. The perception that judges are influenced by political affiliations can erode public confidence in the judiciary, making it harder to uphold the principle of equal justice under the law. The involvement of conservative judges like Pryor and Cannon in cases related to Trump underscores the importance of judicial appointments and their long-term impact on the legal landscape. These appointments are not merely procedural. They shape the judiciary's direction and influence critical decisions that affect the ongoing controversies surrounding Cannon's rulings and Pryor's dismissive response to the complaints against her illustrate the broader consequences of politically motivated judicial appointments. In conclusion, the controversy surrounding Judge Eileen Cannon and Chief Judge William Pryor reflect significant concerns about judicial impartiality and the influence of political bias within the legal system. Cannon's rulings in the Trump classified documents case have been repeatedly questioned and overturned, indicating a troubling pattern of favoritism. Despite over 1,000 complaints highlighting these issues, Pryor's dismissive response suggests a reluctance to address the legitimate concerns of bias and delays. This situation exemplifies the broader challenges within the American judiciary, where political influence can undermine public confidence in judicial fairness and integrity. As the judiciary continues to grapple with these issues, the need for impartial and unbiased legal processes remains more crucial than ever.